At that very moment, a shudder suddenly ran through the heart of Diti, the mother of Hiraṇyākṣa. She recalled the words of her husband, Kaśyapa, and blood flowed from her breast. Please repeat the translation. At that very moment, purport by Srila Prabhupada. At Hiraṇyākṣa's last moment, his mother, Diti, remembered what her husband had said. Although her sons would be demons, they would have been the advantage of being killed by the personality of Godhead himself. She remembered this incident by the grace of the Lord, and her breast flowed blood instead of milk. In many instances, we find that when a mother is moved by affection for her sons, milk flows from her breast. In the case of the demon's mother, the blood could not transform into milk, but it flowed down her breast as it was. Blood transforms into milk. To drink milk is auspicious, but to drink blood is inauspicious. Although they are one and the same thing, this formula is applicable in the case of cow's milk also. Doesn't the Vedanta. So in the fight that ensued between Hiraṇyākṣa and Hiraṇyākṣa and Lord Varaha, it has come to the final phase where Lord will be killing Hiraṇyākṣa in the next couple of verses. So this scenario, who else was experiencing? So Mother Diti, she had an experience. It says, Tada dite samabhavat. Tada, at that time, when the fight was about to conclude, Ditehe, the mother of Hiraṇyākṣa, samabhavat, she had an experience. What was that? Sahasa hrudi vepatuhu. Suddenly, there was a shudder in her heart. Means there was like a heart attack or something like a impulsive pull in the heart. Vepatuhu means a shaking of the body. In many other places, the same meaning has been given. So here there was like a shock for her. Smarantya Bharturadesham. At that particular point, she remembered the husband's instruction. Smarantya Bhartuhu, who was Bhartuhu? Kaśyapa Muni. Adesham. What was that instruction? That your sons will be killed, but they will be killed by the personality of God. Stana shasakrit prashrushave. And because of the motherly affection for her son, the blood started flowing out of her breast. So here we see, at that very moment, tada, a shudder suddenly ran through the heart of Diti. Dite samavat sahasa hrudi vepatuhu. The mother of Hiraṇyākṣa. She recalled the words of her husband Kaśyapa, Smarantya Bharturadesham, and blood flowed from her breast. Stanat chasakrit prashrushave. So two scenarios have been explained here, in happiness and in distress. The result, when mother is happy and lovingly affectionate for her son, milk flows. When in a distress call, and specifically towards the demoniac perspective, the blood flows. The Sattvaguna to Tamoguna, two different experiences. So in the purport also Prabhupada says, in many instances we find, when a mother is moved by affection for her sons, milk flows from her breast. In the case of the demon's mother, the blood could not transform into milk, but it flowed down as it was. So the experience is same thing. But because of the tendency, whether he is demoniac or devotee perspective, the resultant is varying. Diti was also very much affectionate to her son. But the problem was, Diti was in Sattvaguna, they are in demigods level, great Rishi. But the son was in a demoniac level, Rakshasa. But still that affection was there as a son. So when she remembered the son, the result was the blood was flowing out. To show that the son was not of divine nature but of a demoniac nature. And Prabhupada compares the same thing with milk of cows also. When the cow is very happy, they abundantly give milk. When the cow is in distress or in fear, the milk will be very less and it will be not in a proper frame of consciousness also. So Prabhupada used to give example, first time when New Vrindavan project has started. So they purchased one cow from the slaughterhouse. So when the cow was brought, initially it was very fearful. See, because dairy fed farms where cows don't interact with public at all. They are in a private seclusion. The first time devotees, the experience, it has seen the almost up to the death level. So it was very terrified. But when it came outside, when it started associating with the devotees, it was having that peaceful environment. It started giving more than double the capacity of the milk. What was it was giving earlier? So when you are happy, you outperform your capacity. When you are distressed, even though you can perform to your benchmark, you will be undermined. Like for example, a game is happening. In distress, what happens? We will not be able to perform up to the mark. Why? Depression, anxiety, many other things take an impact on your performance. But when you are happy, when you are carefree, you outperform. The same thing here also. So now, what do we understand the mother's affection for the child here? Whether he is good or bad, the mother's affection was always the same. And it is said that the love of mother in this material world is a glimpse of love of living entity to the Supreme Lord. In what category? The spontaneous category. As a living entity is spontaneously attached to the Lord in the spiritual world, a glimpse of that we see in this material world is mother and son's love. In what way? Because it is unconditional. Generally, business-oriented people will be. But mother's love is never business-oriented. Whether he will take care of me in future or not, she unconditionally takes care of the child. So here we see also in Bhagavatam perspective, when Krishna was there as a baby, the entire experience was not much shared by Devaki, but Yashoda Mata had the experience at the childhood pastimes. So there were a couple of instances where so Mother Yashoda had this same feeling for baby. Remember Krishna, when baby Krishna was there next to her. So ekada arbakam adhaya swankam aropya bhamini prasnutam payayam asha stanam sneha pariplutaha. Ekada, one day, arbakam adaya, that small baby boy Lord Krishna in a baby arbakam adaya, taking him, swa ankam aropya bhamini. Bhamini means Mother Yashoda. Swa ankam onto her lap. She placed baby Krishna onto her lap. Prasnutam payayam asha. So because of that affection for the baby, as soon as she captured baby onto her hand, the affection, the milk started flowing out. Stanam sneha pariplutaha. The milk was overflowing and the baby was drinking that milk. Because of the affection, as soon as she smelled the baby, she picked up onto her hand and she was fondling him, the milk started automatically flowing out. The result was, the Prabhupada says, because of affection, milk naturally flowed from the mother's breast and the baby drank it. Did only Mother Yashoda experience this? No, cows also experience this. So generally what happens, if you have to milk, you have to go to the udder and you have to milk the cow. But Krishna's cows were so luxurious, so happy. We see in the Bhagavatam, they were, when the pasturing grounds, they go for grazing. In the pasturing grounds, they were automatically dropping milk. Like rain, whenever rain comes, you will see puddles of water everywhere. So in the pasturing grounds, when Krishna had taken these cows, because of when Krishna played flute, when they become over ecstatic, they were automatically dropping milk everywhere. And it was milk puddles everywhere in the gardens, in the forests. Nobody need not milk it. They were automatically, that milk is coming ecstasy. Even cows were experiencing that affection. Because cow is also considered like one of the mother. Sapta mataraha. So, who are the 7 mothers? Adau Mata, Guru Patni, Brahmani, Raja Patnika, Dhenu Dhatri Tata Prithvi, Sapta Eve Matara. The 7 are given the position of mother on an equal level. Adau Mata, one's own mother. Guru Patni, the wife of spiritual master. Raja Patnika, the mother, the wife of king, because king is considered like the father. So Brahmani, the wife of a Brahmana. Dhenu, cow. Dhatri, nurse. Tata Prudvi, mother earth. All these 7 are given on the status of motherly nature, motherly capacity. Because this context was explained when Putana, even though she was of ill-minded, she wanted to kill Krishna. But still, because of the small punya what she had done, she gave her breast milk to Krishna. The intention was to kill, but Krishna took only the positive perspective. And she was given the highest destination, which none of the other, the demons in entire Krishna Lila had achieved. What was that highest destination? She was given the position equivalent to Mother Yashoda in Goloka Vrindavan. Now, any other demon who could achieve to Golok Vrindavan, everybody got only up to impersonal Brahman, at max. Only 2 more people, her brothers, could go up to Vaikuntha planets. Their family has been blessed. Agasura, Bakasura were her brothers. Because Krishna entered into their body, Agasura body he entered, and Bakasura body he entered. Only these 2 demons got the further elevation up to Vaikuntha. And Putana got directly to Goloka Vrindavana, just because of small service. And Uddhava says, if Putana, who is of a demoniac nature, if she can get the special facility, what to speak of devotees? This is unfavorable devotional service. But when you engage in favorable devotional service, what could be the outcome? Krishna is not so ungrateful. So then one more place also, Parikshit Maharaj explains about the same scenario. What punya has he done? Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. He says, Rajo Vacha, Parikshit is asking, Nanda kim akarod Brahman? Oh my dear Brahman, oh my dear Sutta, what is his name? Sukadeva Goswami, my dear Sukadeva. Nanda kim akarod? What did Nanda Maharaj do? Shreya eva mahodayam, the auspicious things which was Maha Udayam, the best outcome. What activities did he perform which became auspicious to everyone? Yashojacha Mahabhaga, the most fortunate Mother Yashoda. Nanda with Mother Yashoda, and most fortunate was Mother Yashoda, Mahabhaga. Papau Yashya Stanam Harihi, where Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna became Papau, a baby. Stanam Yashaha, she drank her milk. What punya did she do? And what glorious activities did Nanda Maharaj do that they became parents of baby Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna? This was the question of Parikshit Maharaj. Means he was appreciating what aspect Nanda and Yashoda were so glorious. And even we see the same scenario on Damodara pastime. On the Diwali day when Krishna was motor, the entire issue. So that day early morning, Mother Yashoda, because it was a Diwali day, everybody were busy in their house. So Mother Yashoda was also doing household activity, everybody were cleaning. Since the servants were busy in some other activity, Mother Yashoda said, today I will churn the butter personally. And when she is churning the butter, she was reciting the pastimes of the Lord. And they were all in a singing format. It was like a glorious song. So Krishna baby, as a baby, he was sleeping there at that moment. When he heard the divine song, what Mother Yashoda was singing, it was like the wake-up call, Suprabhata. He got up. He came behind Mother Yashoda. He was feeling hungry. And he, without disturbing, he wanted to have the complete attention of Mother Yashoda. He came from behind, he hugged Mother Yashoda, and he forbade her to stop the doing of churning, and he said, first feed me, then do your activity. First is my activity. So it says, Tam stanya kama asadya matantinam jananim harihi grihitva dadi mantanam nyashyadayet priti mavaham. Tam stanya kama asadya, he approached Mother Yashoda to desiring to drink her milk. Matantinam jananim harihi. Who approached? Hari. Whom did he approach? Janani, mother. What she was doing at that time? Matantim. She was churning the butter. Grihitva dadi mantanam. So then what did he do? He hold on to the rod, saying, Grihitva, holding. Dadi mantinam, the curd churner. Nashyadayet, he said, don't do this. He stopped her from doing the churning. Priti mavaham, out of love and affection, she took the baby on her lap, and she was very much affectionate. He was carried away by the affection to the baby. Tam ankam arudam apyayat sanam. Then she placed the baby on her lap. Ankam arudam apyayat, out of affection. Stanam, she gave her breast milk. Snehasutam sa smitam ikshati mukam. Because of that affection, excessive affection, snehasutam. Sa smitam, his lovely face. Ikshati mukam, when she started seeing that lovely face, then she started smelling the baby's head. She started fondling with his head and hair. She became carried away by the love for Lord. Atruptam ushridya javena sha yayo. Atruptam, immediately. She got up, placed the baby aside, and she went away. Where did she went away? Utsitya mane payasitu adishrute. So there was milk which was boiling on a pot under a fire. She went there hurriedly to remove that milk from the pot, from the stove. So Prabhupada, sometimes this impersonalist or Mayavadi philosopher, they complain on this subject. See, Mother Yashoda, she had the greatest fortune. Baby Krishna was on her lap, but she was bothered of the milk on the pot. So Vaishnavacharyas conclude, even though Mother Yashoda was conscious baby Krishna was there were 9 lakh cows, and there was one specific cow which Krishna used to drink milk. And that milk is overflowing from the pan there. And Mother Yashoda was concerned, if the entire milk goes away or becomes burnt, my baby will go hungry. So she was in the service of the Lord. Never she was considering, Lord is not required, milk is very important for me. Service is first important. She was conscious, if that milk entirely flows out, my baby will be hungry. But Krishna became dissatisfied. Atrupyat, he was not fully satisfied because he has not filled his stomach. So he became angry. Then further what did he do? That entire Damodar Leela is the pastime there. So, so this is the scenario. Mother Yashoda was conscious. So then one more scenario we see in Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, 83rd chapter somewhere. Devaki, after Krishna and Balarama had come back from their guru's training, Sandipani Muni, so they had performed one extraordinary Guru Dakshina there. So what was that Guru Dakshina? Sandipani had asked, the wife of Sandipani Muni had asked, get us our son who has died long back. So Krishna and Balarama brought back the dead son. So Vasudeva Devaki also remembered this scenario. They prayed to Lord Krishna and Balarama. We know you two are extraordinary personalities. So we had one desire. Mother Devaki said, I had one desire. Kamsa had killed my small babies. I could not experience the motherhood properly with them. If possible, Can you bring back all that 6 children? I want to see them once. So Krishna and Balarama wanted to satisfy their mother's desire. From there they went to the Sutala planet, where Bali Maharaj rules over. And as soon as Lord Krishna came there, he blew his conch shell. Bali Maharaj could understand the Supreme Lord has come to his planet. So he immediately came there, he offered prayers, he gave them an asana, he gave proper reception. Then he had asked the Lord, what is the purpose of his visit to his kingdom? Then Krishna explained the reason why he had come there. There were 6 sons of Mother Devaki, his predecessors. They were his elder brothers. So they were all been killed by Kamsa, and they are all staying in his planet because of Asura influence. He said, please hand over them to me. I want to take them to my mother. And he also explains the scenario. Who are these 6 sons? They are known as Shadgarbhas. So they were sons of Marichi, who was the son of Brahma, the Prajapati. In the Swayambhu Manu period, when the starting of the creation time, when Brahma created Saraswati, he became infatuated and he started running behind Saraswati. So the 6 sons, known as Shadgarbhas, they started laughing at Brahma. So because of this, they have created an offense to Lord Brahma, and Brahma cursed them to become in a demoniac species of life, to take birth. So these 6 children, they took birth as sons of Kalanemi. And who is this Kalanemi? He was son of Hiraṇyākṣa. So Kalanemi and his 6 sons, when Hiraṇyākṣa was killed, Kalanemi was also killed. The 6 sons went and did tapasya to Lord Brahma. When Lord Brahma became satisfied and he said, what benediction do you want? So they had prayed, nobody can kill them. They become more glorious than demons and demigods, and they become great personalities, as every demon prays. Lord Brahma bestowed them the benediction. They came back. Hiraṇyākṣa was there. He became very serious. He became very angry. He said, when I am there, why did you go to Brahma? Because he was thinking he was competent to become Brahma. That was his desire. He wanted to displace Brahma and he wanted to rule the universe. When I am the supreme person here, why did you go and accept from Brahma? He became angry. And he cursed them that in your next life, your father only will kill you. So the 6 people became the sons of Devaki, and Kalanemi became Kamsa, and through Kamsa, all the 6 children were killed. This was the story of Shadgarbhas. So now when Krishna had recommended that all the 6 children be given back, the names of these 6 children were also given: Smara, Udgita, Pariswanga, Patanga, Shudra Brihat, Grini. These are the 6 children's names. And these 6 children were immediately Bali Maharaj escorted the living entities and handed over to Lord Krishna and Balarama. So they brought them back in front of Vasudeva and Devaki in the baby form, as they were seen in that baby bodies. That bodies are gone, but Krishna was able to bring them back to that baby form. So when Mother Yashoda saw, Mother Devaki saw, Vasudeva saw, that small babies, she became very much carried away by affection. She immediately brought them onto her lap and she started fondling with them, she started kissing them, caressing them. And because of that excessive affection, the milk started flowing. And the babies drank that milk, which was the prasada of Lord Krishna. Because Mother Devaki had offered her milk to Krishna at one particular point. The prasada was overflowing. And when all the small babies, when they drank that milk, they experienced a change from demoniac life to demigod life. Because of drinking of the prasada milk. They all got reinstated into their original position as sons of Marichi, and they all took permission from Krishna and Balarama. They offered prayers and they went back to their respective positions. just a small milk, prasadam, how much mother milk, the same affection. But from demoniac species they became back to glorious divine species. So Krishna performs various pastimes to teach all of us through his devotees. So there was one statement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is in Bhakti Ratnakara. It says, Ramananda Dware Kandarpera Darpanashe. Through Ramananda Raya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught to the whole world how one can cross over lusty tendencies. Ramananda Raya was personally dressing the women, the most beautiful women, Devadasis. But still he was never carried away by their bodily attraction. Damodara Dware Nirapekshe Parakashe. And through Swarupa Damodara he taught how to remain free from all desires, Nirapeksha. Haridasa Dware Sahisnuta Janaila. Through Haridas Thakura he taught the whole world how one should practice tolerance and patience. Sanatana Rupa Dware Dhainya Prakashila. Through Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami he taught how to be humility in life. Jitendriya Nirapeksha Sahisnuta Dainya Echari Avadi Vyakta Kaila Sri Chaitanya. So these four primary qualities. Jitendriyaha, controller of the senses. Nirapekshaha, free from desire. Sahisnuta, tolerance. Dainyaha, humility. Echari Avadi Vyakta Kaila Sri Chaitanya. Through his devotees, he exhibited these four unique qualities. Murkagana ite tarka kare nana mate. So Sanatana Rupa Dhainya na pari bhushite. Not understanding the humility of Rupa and Sanatana, ignorant people argued among themselves that it is not humility. Mahagora narake yaite yara sada sa kuruka aiche kutarkadi aparada. So because of their unable to understand, because of their contemplating in a negative perspective, all these people were placed in demoniac species or hellish planets because of their committing offenses towards Vaishnava. So we have to be very careful sometimes. We can't understand. Doesn't mean that I am wrong. My intention is wrong. I am not able to understand that. So unless we know the scenario clarity, we cannot come to any conclusions. We should not pass judgments. So Diti was in a favorable mood because they were killed by Supreme Lord, not by any other ordinary man. And this was the entire scenario played by the Lord because Lord wanted to accept an incarnation. And these two demons were not common people also. They were all the great servitors of the Lord, Jaya Vijaya. So we should not take that to be a common representative of all the other conditioned souls. One particular incident, at one particular time it happened. It's not that every time it happens like that. So Krishna also sometimes helps us through his devotees, through his representatives. So there was one story during of late recent times, maybe few thousands of years back. This was about two Brahmanas who were from the state of Kashmira. Their name was Sumedha and Harimedha. So great Lord devotees of Lord Vishnu. And they are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord. So because of being devotees, they were always merciful to all living entities. And they are able to understand the truth about the reality of this material world. So one day they decided, let us go on a pilgrimage. And while they were traveling, they came across a Tulasi garden. And because of walking for an extensive day, they became exhausted. So upon seeing this Tulasi, Sumedha immediately circumambulated the Tulasi and he offered respectful obeisances to Tulasi. Then Harimedha asked Sumedha, what is the glory of this Tulasi? And what result one will get by offering respects to Tulasi? So Sumedha said, it is very hot here. Let us go on to the shade of a big banyan tree there. We'll sit there and we'll discuss about the topics there. So they took shelter of that banyan tree and they started explaining about the glories of Tulsi there. He said long ago when Indra had lost his position due to curse of Durvasa Muni, at that time Lord Brahma, all the demigods and all the demons were engaged in churning of the milk ocean to regain that Amrita. So from the churning of the ocean, many wonderful things have come out, such as Airavata, Kalpavriksha, moon, Lakshmi, Uchchaishrava, Kaustuba. Then Lord Hari, in the form of Dhanvantri, at the end he came out. And with all the celestial medicines and Amrita, the nectar. As Lord Vishnu was holding this pot, which can make anyone become immortal and feel great happiness. So because of that excessive pleasure, the tears came out of his eyes and some fell on the nectar. That moment, Tulasi appeared from the pot. All the demigods along with Lord Brahma offered respects to Tulasi and Lakshmi, and they both were offered, these two items were offered to Lord Vishnu, and he accepted with great pleasure. So since then Tulasi became very dear favorite of Lord Vishnu. So in this way he started glorifying the Tulasi, and he said, this way we offer respects to Tulasi. As they were speaking like this, suddenly a golden chariot started appearing from the spiritual world. It came there, and it just landed under the banyan tree under which they were all seated. So two celestial beings came out of this tree, and they offered respects to Sumedha and Harimedha, and they circumambulated the chariot also, which has come from Vaikuntha. So these two Brahmanas were shocked. Who are these celestial personalities? And a celestial airplane has come to take them back. So they were inquiring, what is the thing? Why are you in this form? So one of them he said, my name was Astika. I am a resident of Devaloka. One day we went to Nandanakanana forest for playing. So while engaging there in celestial activities with other apsaras and all, a pearl necklace of these ladies who were all playing, it missed from their bodies and fell on the Lomas Muni who was doing tapasya there. So Lomas Muni became disturbed that these people were creating nuisance in that area. He became very angry. And why is this scenario? See, women, if they would have come, they would have just taken bath and gone away. Why are these people becoming so lustful, and why are they playing around? Because there was a male, because of him, all these females were becoming enchanted. So this male was the cause of this entire scenario. He cursed that male. Nothing to do. They were playing and they became excited and they were throwing flowers, everything and all, that came and fell on this Rishi. But he said, you are present there, that's why it is the cause of all this scenario. He cursed that boy, that you become a Brahma Rakshasi. So then immediately he went and he prayed obeisances, and he said, my dear sir, I am not at fault. I have not done anything. No, your mere presence itself is activating their sensual pleasure. I am not wrong at cursing you. And then he said, what is the Nishkruti for this? When will I get liberated? He said, one day, when the Brahmanas from Kashmir come to that place and when they recite the glories of Tulsi Maharani, by hearing that glories, that day you become liberated. So this is the cause, and we are very grateful to you. The one more person was a disciple of a great sage. One day while serving his master, he became inattentive in his service. The Guru became very angry, and he also cursed him to become a Brahma Rakshasa. So both of them took shelter of this tree, and they were waiting. When will that day come? These two Brahmanas will come and they recite them about glories. So whoever was coming to that tree, nearby area, they were all like a movie. You see, whenever people come there, they will frighten them, they will make them run away, they will create ruckus there, and all the disturbances they were creating there. So this was the scenario in which the two Brahmanas, when they recited the glories of Tulsi, the bhakti, what they heard, these glories, liberated these two Brahma Rakshasa. They attained the divine forms and they went back. So how Krishna even liberates just by hearing the glories of his devotees. This entire scenario, Bhagavatam is what? The glories of his devotees. So the more we hear, the more the understanding, the Shraddha with which we hear is very important. So a similar scenario was also there when who was that? Gokarna, when he was reciting. He recited Bhagavatam first time. Only his brother, who was in the demoniac form, who was there in the bamboo, he got liberated. The entire village was as it is. When the divine chariot came and they took him back home, back to Godhead, the other people were all saying, we are also hearing Bhagavatam, but only why your brother who was in the Pisacha, he became liberated, why not we? Then the divine being spoke, the associates of the Lord, you have been hearing Bhagavatam, but you are not contemplating on what is being said. You just as a time pass you are hearing. You have no faith in your hearing. So again all the associates requested, Gokarna, please repeat once again, we will hear. Second time he repeated. Next time the entire village, everybody firmly, faithfully heard that Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the people liberated and all the people went back home. So this is the divine aspect. Shunvata Shraddaya Nityam. Shraddaya Shunvataha Nityam. When we hear this Bhagavatam, the impact, we can also go back home, back to God. Do we have that Shraddha? Do we have that faith? No. All of you have to check yourself. We stop here. Any questions or doubts?
So during the discussion, Lord Brahma, followed Saraswati regarding that. So this is a little not digesting kind of thing, bro, because Lord Brahma is a head of our parampara, and such kind of personality going back of his own person is little not digesting.
No, this is what Shastra says. This opposite sex attraction, even to one's own mother, daughter, matra, swastra, duhitrava. The senses are so strong, you can get carried away. And this is one example what Lord was trying to teach. Brahma in a physical body he was not traveling, in his mental body he was traveling. How mind can take you away? Whenever you see a beautiful form, you are here, but your mind is where? Same thing happened to Brahma. Because they were in a pure state, you can experience that mind also into your form. And immediately what did Lord Brahma do? He left that body. He left that thought. Thought is a personality. And immediately he left that thought. And he accepted a new form, new thought. That's what Bhagavatam we read. So how mind can play havoc in one's life, even though in the proximity of one's own family member. So that's why it is said, never trust the mind, never trust the senses. So that's what example has to be taught, and Lord will choose, he is the dearmost person to teach us an example. And Brahma is the Sampradaya Acharya, he is teaching to the whole world. If Brahma can get allured, what to speak of other insignificant living entities. So don't do this principle that was taught to us. That's what explanation we have in the previous chapters of where this point has come. Prabhupada writes that perspective. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की विश्वगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की